What caused the deadly crash of U.S. Air Flight 427? 132 people died when the 737 trying to land at Pittsburgh's airport crashed and burst into flames. Tonight, federal investigators released new details. Let's go to CNN's Charles Ziwi. He joins us live with the very latest. Charles?
For the record, federal officials are saying they are at a loss to explain why 32 people died in the crash of a plane here. But cockpit voice recordings are indicating the crew knew it was in trouble. The pilot's last words, "Oh God," and then emergency. As crews collected human remains and searched for the reason why U.S. Air 427 crashed, National Transportation Safety Board investigators said that a cockpit voice recorder indicated the pilot knew he was in trouble.
He said, "We've got an emergency," or words to that effect, and then there were some exclamations, and I don't know what those were.
Officials say the plane's flight data recorder indicated the plane rolled to the left and plunged 6,000 feet in 23 seconds, diving nose first into a wooded ravine.
And about 80 feet above the trees that I was seeing the plane, the engines caught on fire, and a big fireball came up and engulfed the plane.
Emergency crews, many overcome with the heat and devastation, are treating the scene as a hazardous waste site. Religious on hand said it was gruesome beyond words.
But I could see that there was a man's shirt and a man's belt and part of the seat, but no identification of a person at all.
Although U.S. Air has been hit with 5 crashes in 5 years, company officials deny massive financial losses have compromised safety.
I say this very sincerely. If I thought that U.S. Air was an unsafe airline, I would put the entire fleet on the ground today until it was fixed. I do not believe that's the case.
Federal aviation officials, meanwhile, say they've been watching U.S. Air operations for more than 2 years and increased surveillance following a July crash in Charlotte.
And we deem them to be safe.
A complete analysis of the flight data and cockpit voice recordings will probably take a few more days. Investigators say they have found the plane's 2 engines. Indications are they were running at the time of impact, and that, sources indicate, probably rules out that the plane ran out of fuel. This is Charles Ziwi reporting live from Hopewell Township, Pennsylvania.
Charles, thank you very much. There is another story to tell tonight about this. The Associated Press says one transcript of the final conversation between the pilot and the air traffic controller has the pilot talking about a traffic emergency, raising the possibility that there might have been a second aircraft involved somehow in the crash of Flight 427. Again, the Associated Press quotes the pilot, one of his final phrases, traffic emergency. So far, though, there has been no comment from investigators and no confirmation that there was a second aircraft in the immediate area at the time. Stay with Channel 5 and Eyewitness News. We will have the very latest developments on the crash of Flight 427. We will have updates throughout the weekend as investigators continue to search for clues into what went wrong.
Would you ever think that a human body or anything like that can be torn to shreds or something like that? You know, it's just devastating.
But I could see that there was a man's shirt and a man's belt and part of the seat, but no identification of a person at all. Just the remains of what was a person.
We saw what they said was the biggest body part. You can't recognize it at all. And so these family members are not going to be able to, it's not going to be real for a long time.
Authorities declared the crash site a biological hazard because of the amount of blood has been cordoned off. 6 people have been arrested for trespassing.
The plane is flown at 150